I just felt entitled to it as well. It was just dysfunctional from day one.
As kids, I used to put on heels. I used to put on.
I just felt qualified for it too. It was only broken from the very beginning, as children. I used to put on heels. I used to do everything I attempt to put on whatever my sisters, anything my sisters. Did I attempt to do those things? They went to the back. And it was a lot of old and young men back there all stripped in the swim house. So I find it interesting that Gabrielle staying there discussing, boy, so word on the road, is that Gabrielle Association is Loki getting her affairs together to serve Dwayne swim with separate from paper. And the tea is that she purportedly found him venturing out on her with a man presently. There's this one visually impaired thing that let the cat out of the bag on Dwayne saying he was looking for trouble with one more woman as an afterthought. However, a few different sources are currently tweeting that Dwayne could have wandered somewhere new with a buddy. And let me tell you, for those who've been peeping in the background, this isn't precisely a shock, and a few fans are in any event hypothesizing that Gabrielle knew up and down that Dwayne was sexually unbiased, yet she simply didn't believe it should open up to the world. Additionally, stories continue springing up saying that Dwayne and Gabrielle love to toss a few wild gatherings at their den. So is this actually the stopping point for Gabrielle and Dwayne? And will Gabrielle let the cat out of the bag on Dwayne's mystery? How about we stall all down Gabrielle Association as of late did a meeting with influence and said this he eats her then. At that point, does that mean she needs to eat the man, assuming we're discussing you realize equivalent time? Here folks truly aren't essentially, the ones I know aren't actually into that is what they say okay. So I couldn't say whether I'm more shocked that she conceded that she eats goods, or that he prefers it. So like I said, there's been a ton of discuss Gabrielle and Dwayne facilitating some sort of supposed flighty gatherings at their home, where more seasoned Hollywood honorable men are engaged by a lot more youthful men, and reports are circumventing that Gabrielle knew from the leap that Dwayne goes either way. Now we as a whole realize that the reports about Dwayne being on the DL are the same old thing, yet as of late various insiders from media outlets have approached for certain wild cases. And these theories didn't jump out of nowhere, honey. They are truly established in remarks from people who used to work intimately with Dwayne. Back in 2010, Dwayne's previous colleague, Richard Von Mann, claimed that Dwayne used to have clandestine substance, energized get-togethers. While still wedded to his most memorable spouse, Seovan FES Richard reviewed one episode at Dwayne's 4-room skyscraper loft, where the cleaning group found an incredible wreck. I went down there, and what I saw was sickening. Richard said the loft was destroyed and foul. And it wasn't whenever he first portrayed finding utilized condoms on the floor, void champagne and hard alcohol bottles, almost completed dolls, and half-eaten food riding on tables and furniture. Dwayne and his group facilitated these gatherings a few times each week, welcoming various visitors, principally rappers and ladies they meet in clubs. These supposed social affairs proceeded with even after Dwayne's separation from his most memorable wife. And his relationship with Gabrielle and Richard infer that Gabrielle would frequently participate in these gatherings. Now Richard didn't unequivocally specify Dwayne connecting with different men at these gatherings, yet given the charges from different insiders, it most certainly makes you can't help thinking about what went down at these gatherings. What's additionally worth bringing up is that Dwayne's ex guaranteed during their separation that Dwayne contaminated her with a sexually transmitted disease around 2007, which harmonizes with the period when Richard asserted Dwayne began tossing these wild gatherings. And in spite of Dwayne's endeavors to sue his ex-wife for slander of character, the bits of gossip encompassing his sexuality persevered. Dwayne himself unintentionally filled these theories when he conceded he used to spruce up in ladies' clothing in one meeting that has been getting out. And about recently, Dwayne shared his contemplations, supporting his little girl Zaya when she emerged as transsexual. And he uncovered that in his more youthful days, he used to appreciate wearing his sister's garments and heels when it hit my doorstep at 3 years of age. Like I said, when me and my better half taken a gander at one another, right? And reason we took a gander at one another is a result of this, as children. I used to put on heels, I used to do everything I attempt to put on whatever my sisters, anything my sisters. Did I attempt to do those things, so at first I shared with myself, goodness I did that, so I doing the things that I did. Afterward, it continued to go endlessly further, and afterward me and my significant other needed to take a gander at one another and say, well, imagine a scenario where, and at that point, all that I was educated vacated the premises, since now I'm a parent and my only work, and my only obligation is to ensure that this youngster grow up realizing that is upheld and is cherished. Now talking about Dwayne's little girl Zia, there's additionally been contention encompassing Dwayne and Gabrielle's nurturing decisions. Dwayne's ex-Seovan guaranteed that they constrained Zia's orientation progress for monetary profit, and she blamed them for taking advantage of Zia's orientation character. For consideration, one more issue surfaced when Dwayne and Gabrielle documented to legitimately change Zia's name and orientation before she turned 18. Without talking with her introduction to the world mother, in spite of a care understanding concurrence with Styovan that ought to have involved her in such choices, Styovan truly attempted to hinder this solicitation, and she made a lawful move by submitting official records to show that as per the guardianship understanding she had recently haggled with Dwayne, he is committed to talk about with her and get from her contribution to the significant choices influencing their 2 kids. Yet the court allowed Dwayne and Gabrielle's solicitation to change 15-year-old Zia's lawful character. And Dwayne then, at that point, terminated back at Styovan and blamed her for focusing herself and her requirements regardless of her youngsters. Now this assertion didn't agree with many fans who took to virtual entertainment to say that Dwayne and Gabrielle were the ones focusing themselves in Zia's circumstance, and simultaneously reports about Dwayne and Gabrielle's unusual marriage and mystery parties proceeded to circle, and afterward Puma Wright asserted in a meeting that this is the kind of thing that happens a ton in the business, and that numerous Hollywood couples, including Will and Jada Gilo and Imprint Anthony, and presently the swims participate in a few wild exercises. Panther additionally guaranteed that these social affairs moved from the Smiths to the swims after the entrapment circumstance. They ain't doing as much I surmas now. Since they're getting old, I get it, just moved over to the White House now. Puma explained that her proclamations don't have anything to do with Dwayne and Gabrielle support Fia's change. And she made sense of that. She heard from numerous young fellows in the business that they saw problematic and upsetting exercises at one of the swim's local gatherings. I'm saying that due to the craftsmen that I just addressed in the relatively recent past that got welcome to a party at their home, everything was cool front and center, so they went to the back, and there was a lot of old anding young men back there, all bare in the swim house. So I find it entertaining that Gabrielle staying there discussing Boy Puma additionally shot Gabrielle for her remarks about Boy, recommending that Gabrielle was extending her significant other's issues onto others, that Gabrielle staying there discussing Boy, perhaps you dubious of him, due to that is occurring in your home out of here. These be talking oily on a wide range of yet I could do without when these supposed dark Hollywood couples need to come in, and afterward they need to stay there and play watchmen in the meantime they wearing and abusing a wide range of youngsters. And think about what would no one prefer not to concede that they a casualty, so they profess to be companions on no doubt in the event that you miss the circumstance between Gabrielle and Boy. Openly got down on Dwayne and Gabrielle for permitting Zia to change before she turned 18. However, at that point, Gabrielle applauded back at him, guaranteeing that he's the one battling with his character. We won't ever leave you. Yet some of the time you must lead thus far, so great, sorry boy. Applause. He's so engrossed, definitely. He is a lot of practically like, truly do fight a lot of little liquor. Oh, and look, you got a ton of on your laughter mind. I mean, it's like Zia and Lilnet's residing his head, with the expectation of complimentary. Like what, like, sir, something you need to feel free to let us know this is a place of refuge. We can be your, maybe that place of refuge was not accommodated him. Yet you definitely know Bowie won't remain silent after this. And he went off on Gabrielle on Twitter, asserting she's frantic that her better half's private business got uncovered. Haha, the entire world realize I love ladies. And the entire world realize your better half loved the expectation you don't think blacks take a gander at you. All like a several they don't occupied likewise added that it wasn't his aim to uncover Dwayne, yet Gabby began it by blaming him for being in the wardrobe, so he needed to put